KEYC News Now to Go is sponsored by River's Edge Hospital and Clinic. People caring for people.
Moments like these make life worth living. River's Edge Hospital and Clinic is your partner in taking control of your own health. Take your steps towards a lasting tomorrow. River's Edge Hospital.
Hello, good morning, and thanks for joining us for this KEYC News Now to Go update. I'm Jirik, and in a few minutes, I'll be joined by First Alert Meteorologist Caitlyn Lorr with a look at today's forecast and the week beyond. In more news on the Pope, the Vatican is releasing the first details for Pope Francis's funeral. The 88-year-old Pope died Easter morning of a stroke and a heart failure. Barbie Latza-Nadeau reports on when Pope Francis will be laid to rest.
Cardinals have been meeting in Rome on Tuesday to discuss the final plans for the funeral for Pope Francis, who died on Easter Monday in his residence inside Vatican City. We know right now that the Pope is lying in state in a chapel in the Santa Marta hostel, where he has lived since becoming Pope in 2013. Tomorrow morning, on Wednesday at 9 o'clock, he will be moved to St. Peter's Basilica, where he will be lying in state for the public to visit. We expect thousands of people to file through the Basilica in order to pay their final respects. Then on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock here in Rome, his funeral will be held in St. Peter's Square, in the outside, come rain or shine. And we're expecting leaders from all over the world, including U.S. President Donald Trump, to be in attendance. I'm Barbie Latza-Nadeau reporting from Rome.
Back at home, a Lake Crystal man has died after a crash early Sunday morning near Good Thunder. The Blue Earth County Sheriff's Office says it just happened after 12:30 a.m. on 552nd Avenue, just north of Good Thunder, when a truck driven by 21-year-old Jacob Farrell of Lake Crystal rolled and landed on its roof. Authorities say Farrell died at the scene after being partially ejected and trapped under the truck. The crash remains under investigation with assistance from the Minnesota State Patrol. Tariffs on countless products relying on international trade are expected to hit small businesses, especially hard. So far, many are navigating the changes and expecting big price increases. Aaron Stuvey takes us to one North Mankato business that relies completely on international trade.
The Trump administration's tariffs on international trade have put markets in flux, with particular movement with Asian trade markets. Soul Foods in North Mankato is an Asian import grocery store that only opened 4 months ago.
We thought about it. I watched the news. We watched the news. It wasn't like Trump never mentioned tariffs.
The store is owned by Yella Hensley and his wife Suk, and their entire business is taking imported goods to the local level, meaning it's impossible for them to escape the tariffs.
I've called my salespeople in my wholesale sales directly, and they've told me change is going to come. They're trying to tell me order now, because prices will go up.
For the moment, only one of the store's 7 suppliers has raised prices, going up by 20%. But Hensley says that it's only a matter of time before those increases spread, as some of their suppliers have already given them a quote for future product, with increases up to 125%.
They make it sound like changes will come, we're thinking in about a month. And so when they come, it's pretty much going to be everybody will move probably en masse.
The young store reports healthy growth over its first few months in business, building a steady community both as a novelty and as a grocer, serving those looking for specific items not usually found in southern Minnesota. The owners say they hope that community will help them navigate the muddy waters of international commerce, adding their customers already share their concern.
Not only do they ask me about it, I will see them on their phones, Googling prices. And checking everything to see how it affects them. People are definitely concerned.
In North Mankato, Aaron Stuvey, KEYC News Now.
Continuing with local news, Green Seam is hosting a hiring workshop in Mankato focused on recruiting international students and workers. The workshop titles Global Workforce Opportunities is an event open to local businesses and hiring managers and aims to make it easier to hire international workers. Organizers of that event say international workers are often overlooked community in the local area and want to express how important they can be for local businesses.
The Region 9 Economic Development Commission found that 80% of international students in the region would stay in the region if they had a job offer. So this event is going to teach area employers how their business can make and retain international hires.
The event will be at Sky 111 in Mankato on Thursday starting at 12:30 p.m. Transitioning and joining me at the desk, Caitlyn Lorr. Caitlyn, gorgeous day yesterday. I mean, couldn't ask for a better day yesterday. I was outside, got in a nice 4-mile walk. Today, hoping to do the same, and it's going to be the same amount of pretty, the same amount of niceness. Although, I hate to say it, there's a little bit of rain. Speaking of rain, I have a question. This popped in my head. We've been going back and forth this week, and I know this isn't the exact weather that we're normally used to, but why do rain gauges only have such a small top to measure the rain percentage or the rain amount total versus like why not having it be bigger?
Most of the time they're kind of like a uniform, they're supposed to be, a uniform graduated cylinder. Okay. So that way for people who partake in COCO RAs, which are volunteers that help with the National Weather Service, taking those rain totals, can have the same cylinder, whether it's a decorated one or a regular one, they can have the same cylinder to have the same amount of reading across the area. So that way yours isn't going to be this big and mine will be this big, because if it's this big, you could have this much water in it, and if it's this big, it could look like this much water. And when you measure it, if you poured it in the same one, it would be the same amount of rain. But if you didn't and you took your ruler and you measured, the wider one may only have 1/10 of an inch or what it'll look like, where the skinnier one could have 1.5 inches, for example. So they try to keep them the same, and it's always just been that kind of graduated cylinder. The way we do it here is we collect it in a graduated cylinder that the National Weather Service gave us. Yeah, it's pretty tall. I actually just put it away.
Yeah, that's why I thought about it. I was like, oh,
I just put it away. It's pretty tall, and that way it actually only holds about probably 1 inch of water, believe it or not. So there are times where I have to measure it, dump it out, and measure it again so that I can get the full total. But it's just to keep things uniform. So that way everyone can measure properly.
There you go. I learned something today.
That's why it's, you know, only about this big versus a huge thing. So we do dump it so that it does fit. But for those of you at home, you might be measuring today. We got about 1/3 of an inch here at the station just from those storms last night. But as Jackson mentioned, it's going to be a beautiful day today. Very similar to yesterday, just a little bit warmer. But I mean, who's going to complain about that? Right now, 70s is fantastic for the fact that we don't have to deal with humidity. Even with the little bit of rain that we've got, if this were the middle of summer, that rain overnight would lead to a very, very gross afternoon. But we don't have that humidity to really boil up right now with the sunshine out there, so it's going to be comfortable. You might notice a hint of moisture, but all that done and said, it's going to be a great day to get outside. It's Earth Day, so take advantage of the beautiful conditions we have. Clear skies leading into the overnight hours, but then they will become partly cloudy. Winds have been slightly breezy through the morning hours. They're going to stay ever so slightly breezy and then die down, becoming a little bit calmer tonight. Now, with that being said, clouds are going to move in, but stay relatively quiet with a low of 47 degrees by tomorrow morning. We are still tracking a few rain chances in the form of isolated showers tomorrow, scattered chances on Thursday, and again, more chances of rain on Sunday and Monday of this coming week, or I should say next week. It's the early in this week. Taking a look at those isolated chances on your futurecast, this is about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're looking at a thin line of rain stretching across south central Minnesota. That does include the Mankato area. The biggest thing I want to talk about is that up here in south central Minnesota, or just southern Minnesota in general, we're looking at isolated rain chances, very light chances of rain, where portions of northern and northeastern Iowa looking at scattered chances to isolated chances to widespread chances throughout the day tomorrow. So the chances for Iowa are going to grow as the day goes on, where the chances for here in southern Minnesota are going to remain isolated until we make our way into Thursday and we see those scattered chances, not just in Iowa, but here in southern Minnesota as well. With that being said, by 7 a.m. Friday morning, so this does include Thursday's rain totals, we are looking at a total of 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch to those totals. Pretty good increase in those totals to the southeast, where we are looking at those showers a little bit heavier through tomorrow. So again, we are looking at a little bit more accumulation on the way between tomorrow and Thursday across the area. Here's a look at your extended forecast showing those isolated chances for tomorrow, scattered chances on Thursday. Regardless of if it's isolated or scattered chances, temperatures are going to remain in the 60s, not just through this week, but the upcoming weekend. A couple more rain chances next week. Now, I wish those were on different days for the fact that temperatures are going to be fantastic, but at least we're ending the month of April with some more showers to bring us those beautiful May flowers.
Tell you what, 76 on Monday. I'm going to like it.
They're going to be on and off showers, so we
We'll
should
see.
still be able
We'll
to get outside in between some of
There you
those
go.
rain chances.
Why
So.
not? So, wonderful. Thank you very much, Caitlin. We're going to transition with a quick sports segment here. The Mankato West baseball team is off to an unbeaten start to the season, and the Scarlets are putting up some big numbers by averaging over 9 runs per game. Scarlets hosting Rochester John Marshall, a Big 9 matchup. West up by 1 after the first inning, but the Scarlets blow this game wide open in the second. Up 3-0 now. West dials up the double steal. Colton Ball safe at third. Throw goes into left, so Ball will come home as West goes up 4-rip. Another runner goes into third. Scarlets keep the scoring on. Charles Hrdlik hits one to the hot corner. Ball goes into the outfield, and 1 run comes around. Senior wastes no time putting on the pressure on the defense. Steals second. West threatening again. Still in the second inning after Hrdlik steals third. Emmett Rentis drives him in with a single to left. Scarlets with a crooked number in the second. It's 6-0. RJM's Isaac Leth stops the bleeding there, picks up a key strikeout to get out of the inning. Scarlets now 5-0 on the season with a 12-2 win. Well, this evening marks the second Twins game to be broadcasted on your local TV home for baseball. Fox Mankato is your home to watch the Twins take on the Chicago White Sox at 6:40. KEYC and our parent company Gray Media reach an agreement to air 10 Twins games on Tuesday evenings. On top of those games, Fox Mankato will air an additional 5 Saturday matchups. Don't miss Tuesday Night Baseball on your local home for the Minnesota Twins, Fox Mankato. And they play the Chicago White Sox, but we don't like the White Sox here, so that's okay.
Nope.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Caitlin, and thank you guys for tuning in and watching this KEYC News Now to Go update. Stay with KEYC News Now for the latest local news, weather, and sports on our website.
And download the free KEYC News and Weather apps for the latest headlines and forecast.